Hello there. Today I'm with my two great students, Umut and Doa. I'm a script advisor doing this since a few years now, so I have helped some writers, so they're going to ask me some questions about screenplays, basically. There you go.
We planned as our first episode how to get your script into the industry. I want to ask you first, which matters more in the early stages? Networking, contest, representations?
So, first of all, I would say write the script, finish it, because I will say right now at least 99% of people who are looking for this question online has not finished their scripts, I'm pretty sure. First of all, finish the script, finish your script fully. I'm talking about all the dialogues, all the pages and all. And then I would say write another one. Just have two scripts finished, because your first thing is always, as Hemingway says, your first draft is always shit. Okay, so have another draft, yes, but then also have another script, I would say. So have at least two scripts before going into thinking about selling something. Then after this, networking, as you say, this is, I think, the most important thing. And our audience probably is from around the world. It's not only US, it's not only Europe or whatever, it's probably everywhere. So everywhere networking is the first thing to sell whatever you are selling. How do you network is just go out there, go where the action and where your industry is peaked. This might be a city, this might be, I don't know, a studio area, this might be some zone in your town which is full of cafes. Artists or business people hang out. You can just hang out with them and just make them read your script. This is very important. Don't hesitate. I get also a lot of questions about would they steal my script? We don't know. I haven't seen any serious thing about this in my life, but I've heard serious accusations, so I don't know. We don't know.
Sorry for interrupting, just a question popped up. Against stealing, can you also get the copyrights of your script before someone reads it? Is there a way?
Legally, when you write something, this is yours by law. You don't need to get a copyright for this. But there is a service, probably still exists. I'm not an expert in this legal side of things, actually, but I know that WGA, Writers Guild of America, has some system that you send them a copy of your script and then you register it there and you get the number and it says this is your script. In our country, in Turkey, we have a system. You can go to the Notaries. I really don't suggest it because it's totally expensive. Some people say you can mail it to yourself, which is, I think, complete bullshit. No legal advisor with the right mind would just, suggest anything like that. I know there are some online things called timestamps, which are cheap. You upload the document there and it has a timestamp on it, which is a proof that this document was created at this time and all. But I have never heard any legal case that was determined, or I don't know any legal case has used this at all. And when I go to those websites, I always see that we don't know yet, this is not 100% legally proved, so we don't know.
Okay.
And also, think about it, we are in the age of AI. Stealing something is too easy, but still, think about it like this. Let me go back one step. If you're going to work with proper people, if you're going to work with proper producers, companies and all, they will want to work with you. Not just for this script, they want to get you. If you are really talented, they want more stories from you. They want to work long time with you. So it's important for them as much as for you. So you don't have to be scared about this the whole time. Yes, some bad things might happen, and it will happen. Definitely some bad things will happen in your career. But, you have to
move on. Yeah,
you have to move on and go in. That's it. What about the contests? I'm asking the question myself.
What about the contests?
The contests, I don't know. The reason that I don't know is I don't know any good contests. I've seen a lot of seasoned writers who are absolutely, totally against contests because you don't know who read them. And what is the difference between sending it to a studio or a production company and to a contest? Because people who read this thing, usually in contests, they're not that, I don't want to say anything bad, but I haven't seen any good contests, honestly. So maybe there is something out there that you can trust.
Because of the juries, or?
It is about the juries, and the other thing is, why do they make this contest?
Okay,
usually film festivals, 95% of film festivals are money traps. They get money,
It's an economy.
When you apply. It's an economy by itself. There are lots of really good festivals on this 5%, which are absolutely great. But screenwriting-wise, I haven't seen anything really solid. But people sometimes confuse. There are some screenplay incentives some funds, for example. These are not contests. So you can, of course, apply and you should apply to funds and this kinds of initiatives. They're not contests. Sometimes people ask, when they say contest, they mean those things. It's not the same thing, but these are good things to apply to. First of all, they will give you money. They're not going to take money from you. The other thing is, if you get these kinds of funds or at least these kinds of recognitions, it will help you a lot with your career as well. So this is one way to step up your game.
Of course, and I thought maybe the difference between sending directly to the studio might be in the studio. If I send it as a nobody, probably I feel like it won't be written.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if it's a big studio. Still today they read it, they just toss it away usually. It depends, you know. That's why networking is more important than just sending it.
Of course.
So because when they know you in person, they have a better chance of reading the things. Another way that has always been a way to get into the industry, so to speak, is to turn your idea into a novel. First, publishing it as a novel, because publishing a novel is much easier than making a film. There are so many novels being published compared to a film, because film production is very expensive. But if you write a novel, even if you upload it online, it's yours. Like, again, this is like also a copyright thing. When you publish the novel, everybody knows that it's yours perfectly. It's a very good test ground. If people read it, people are going to watch the film probably. It doesn't have to be that way. There are lots of very good films made from like novels that were not sold at all, like just disappeared, but still it's a good way. And I know good platforms look out for these kinds of books. Their readers sometimes don't read any scripts, but they read novels.
What I want to ask you, like, the difference between the scenario and the novel is the format, right?
Yes.
Not just format, maybe. I think they changed the parts of the story in the scenario to fit in a production. But still, is it hard to convert a novel to a scenario?
It depends on how you have written it, because novel has lots of, first of all, like in a very basic level, it has lots of internal voices you can hear and see that you cannot see on screen. And there is a dialogue difference because there's another voice in the novel, because the writer can be or cannot be, but usually is the narrator in the novel. In film, you see everything through director's eyes, which can be matched, of course, but they usually don't. So novel is kind of another language, and then screenplay is something different. But still, if you look at the structure of it, the general structure of it, the scenes, sometimes the dialogues, they can be worked out. It depends on how you write it. Maybe you are writing something very internal that can be hard to translate it to the screen, but you don't have to think about this while you are writing a novel. So novel is a novel, film is a film, is a good jumping board for filmmaking, but still it's another medium that you have to think on its own terms. But again, if you're a writer, you can just adjust yourself to these mediums.
Is talent enough to break into the industry, or do you really need to know someone?
These are two different questions, actually. First of all, what we call talent, yes, exists. If it exists in kind of an area, artistic area especially, it is in the writing, yes. Some people have more insight about human life, human psychology, and they are better at expressing this through writing. And they will have an advantage in writing, but also sometimes when you're seeing these things very easily, it becomes kind of harder to make it as a job, as a writer. So do you have to be talented? When we come back to the question, no. Because you can learn anything. You can just keep writing and develop yourself, and of course read. In the end, you can be a good writer. I am a firm believer in this kind of a path.
So you're saying hard work beats talent in this case?
Always. Especially nowadays, because I know a lot of writers stay away from the knowledge of like structure, like how to write dialogue, screenwriting gurus and all, but I believe in it because I have seen very good writers having results, and I also have seen lots of talented writers starting with knowing nothing, but they don't read what the screenplay books talk about, like the teachings of these. And eventually, after 20 years, 30 years, they come to conclusion that it was worth it, actually. So why waste time? It's like, because we are in the writing business, so you can read these things and you can learn. And I think it would speed up your process a lot, tremendously, actually. Filmmaking is not a lonesome business, it's not painting. Even if you paint something, you have to show it somewhere and show it to someone.
Exactly.
It's not like even painting is not alone, but writing and filmmaking definitely is the least kind of thing that you can expect to do alone. So yes, you need to know someone, but it's not about, when people ask these kinds of things, they think that some people know someone, like, I don't know, by birth or something like that. No, it's just about meeting people. Go out there, put yourself out there, put your work out there. You don't have to be an extrovert to do these kinds of things. You can be a perfect introvert and just, struggle to do whatever you want to do, but you can. Definitely you can.
What I understood from your sayings is the physical world, right? Physical networking. But I wanted to ask you, what's the digital version of bumping into a producer at Starbucks?
Yeah, good question actually. We are living in the digital age and we expect some area to be like that. And honestly, still to this day, it's 2025 and I don't know any place like that. You have to go out there and meet physically. It's
a better way anyways.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, for example, maybe a foreigner might write his script or her script on English and tries to get into another country. So they can't meet physically, probably. Mm-hmm. So that's why I wanted to ask, is there a digital platform? Direct sending a script to a studio is the better option, I guess.
Yes, there are some forums and networking websites that I know of for beginners, but I haven't seen any success stories on them.
Okay.
So I won't name them, but just do your search and you can find it. But still, I think mostly it would be a waste of time. What I would suggest is if you're outside US and you want to go into Hollywood, if it still exists, by the way, because maybe in another video we will talk about this. The business is going somewhere very different right now in the world, generally, starting with Hollywood. If you want to do anything outside of your country, why not do something inside your country first? Because when you have something solid with you, whether it's a film, it's a project or it's just like a kind of producer as a stepping stone from your own country or from your own network, then you can go to festivals, then you can go to other networking events like forums or markets. Basically, these would be still physical, but they would be abroad that you can reach. Other than that, I would suggest, if you're really starting to network, just write a short film, make someone shoot it and go with the film. Still, this is something that you can do. Then you have something solid to send. People are even more busy nowadays. It's really hard to reach them. Yeah. So even the studio readers might read. There are lots of people they know in the business already that they have to read the scripts too. So your script will not be there.
You need to stand out with something, right?
Yes.
So what can it be? How can we stand out?
A short film, definitely.
Is the best way?
It's the starting way. It's not the best way, because when you do a short film, if it's not a feature film, you still have to make a feature film, but at least with the short you might get to know someone. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, in some area of network that you can reach a person who can help you in any way. It might be a local producer, and that person can introduce you to someone else. So make small steps. One of the problems of these kinds of way of thinking is, from writing your first screenplay, you're trying to jump to the biggest place on earth. You don't need to do that. You don't have to do that. Just have small steps. This is a long walk. It's not like a immediate rear jump. It's really hard to have that. So have always small steps. One of the small steps can be, I don't know, some YouTube video even, some YouTube short film. Some short film in a festival, a very low budget feature film. Think about Nolan. Nolan's first feature film was Following, and it's they shot it on weekends throughout a year. So you can have something like that. If you are willing to write something, you can write something like that, make your film, and then go to the festivals and start networking there. You can reach some, again, local producers through your script without shooting anything. They will help you to network also. I would suggest, first of all, really finish your script fully. Make sure that it's finished. This is your final, let's call it, product. It can be only one episode, then you can have the structure of the season totally. But I think in your case, it's better to have 3 episodes and then the structure of the first season mostly. Then, when you know it, you can create a demonstration file using AI. You can have some very small animations, or you can have some kind of a mood board in that file. In another video, we can talk about how to make this file, and we can have some examples, because there are really good examples online. And you can send that to the way to start network. In your case is finding someone. This might be a company, it might be some producers, even actors or people who has worked in those kinds of jobs or projects. Send them this thing, because a producer who has produced already something similar to your project will have a much better network of taking your project. So think about if their company is like Blumhouse, they make horror films. If you send them your horror film, you'll have a better likelihood of selling it to them. What I mean is they have a better chance of producing your work. So find your niche, your own project's style, and then find whoever has done something similar to that. You can start there. I think it would be the easiest way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you guys. See you on the next video then.